What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish. This is going to be a fun one today. We are taking a look today at the latest collaboration between James Whitner's A Ma Maniere and Nike/Jordan Brand. Now, this sneaker has been very highly anticipated ever since its predecessor came out, limited to only 2,300 pairs. But today, we're taking a look at the next chapter, not just in the airship story, which is funny because all of a sudden everybody loves airships again, but in a really interesting chapter in the relationship between A Ma Maniere and Jordan Brand, something that I don't think a lot of people know. So we're going to reveal a little bit of information while taking a look at the sneaker. We're going to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind the shoe, and then finally I'm going to take this time to speak to something that's been going on lately that's been pretty ridiculous. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the brand new Airship PE by Jordan Brand and A Ma Maniere. Good looking shoe. Good looking shoe here. Super, super clean, very classic. Again, it's a simple shoe that carries a lot of weight behind it. Not just in the hidden details of the shoe, which there is a good amount of them, but also in the messaging behind the shoe. But of course, before we get into the shoe, we got to talk a little bit more about the packaging. These boxes have been getting more and more elaborate between A Ma Maniere's projects, social status projects, all of these Whitaker Group umbrella projects. If you guys don't really know how this works, the Whitaker Group is an umbrella company that houses APB, Prosper, Social Status, A Ma Maniere, and then all of the other companies underneath those stores as well. But today we're talking about A Ma Maniere, which is kind of the premium boutique, kind of the top tier store underneath the Whitaker Group umbrella. And they have, in my opinion, some of the more regal, some of the more upscale collaborations, and it starts with the box. That's the signature A logo there on the box there, and you see it all along, all around the box as well. Even on the back of the box, you might be able to see it a little bit better here. When you get inside of the box here, you have, once again, the special edition kind of custom A Ma Maniere A logo paper as well. Very special packaging. Let's get back to the shoe. All right, now starting with the upper of the shoe itself, nothing is different with the shoe in and of itself. It's basically just a plain black and white airship from the naked eye. But again, when you look a little bit deeper, there are some really interesting kind of hidden details that we'll see here. Now, first things first, how good is the leather? The leather's good, actually. The leather feels very nice. It feels very airship type of leather. I mean, nothing really different about it. It's not tumbled. It's not super soft. It's also not super stiff. It's somewhere in the middle. I'd give it probably about a 6 on the stiffness scale, with 10 being super stiff and 1 being incredibly soft, cool Kai, kind of fake Air Jordan 1 leather. The other cool thing about this leather is you have kind of the yellowed edges as well. This sneaker, as you can also tell from the midsole, takes that kind of aged, vintage, weathered look here. So you can also see again on the inside of the leather on the different panels of the shoe, kind of that yellowed, weathered look as well, kind of that patinaed look. I like it. Now, getting a little deeper into the shoe, along the collar of the shoe and on the swoosh, you're gonna notice kind of this premium suede, premium new butt feeling material here. Now, it was said that the leather on this shoe is also a premium leather, and I can see that once again from the patina and the edges of the leather here. But what really struck me is how really soft this kind of suede feeling material here. I'm not sure if it's nubuck, if it's suede. I'm not the materials connoisseur. You guys got to talk to your Nightwings and people like that, but it feels really great. I want to say it's a suede here, but it's an extremely smooth suede. Feels very premium to the touch, especially for only $140 price point. So they did a really good job with the materials, especially for that price. Now, moving down from there, once again, you see this kind of weathered midsole here goes all along the shoe as well. You can even see some of that kind of, I don't know if that's glue or just staining from the way that they stain this kind of weathered looking vintage material on the midsole. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of the weathered vintage look versus these of just being a clean white midsole on the shoe here. I get it, I understand the message for it, especially when you take a look here at the bottom of the shoe. You guys will notice on the outsole of the shoe here, it's this really weathered, kind of worn, vintage looking outsole. Really kind of reminds me of the Lost and Found Air Jordan 1 outsole as well. It looks great, but honestly, the previous A Ma Maniere airship with that really clean aesthetic, I liked the cleaner look as well. Now, if there's a message behind this looking weathered, maybe it's the fact that when you wear these through the trenches, you wear these through the struggle. I don't know. Maybe there is no message and they just wanted this one to look weathered, but it's not my preference. I do kind of wish that this was a clean white midsole here, but it is what it is. It's still a really nice shoe and it looks really good. All right, moving to the tongue here, you have this weathered looking kind of vintage age tongue here. You have the black tongue tag here with the Nike Air. Right underneath that, you have this A Ma Maniere tag, very similar to the blue and white A Ma Maniere pair, except once again, this pair was not limited to 2,300 pairs. Now, that doesn't mean it was an easy cop. A lot of people did end up taking the L on these, and these are going for a little bit of money, maybe around double retail price on the resale markets, depending on your size right now. But it was nowhere near as limited as that blue pair. So sound down below. Let me know if you guys were even able to get your hands on a pair of these. Let's move on. All right, on the back of the left shoe here, you have the embossed A Ma Maniere A logo, just like you saw all over the box and on the paper. On the right shoe here, you have the traditional Nike Air on the heel. So one thing you're always gonna see is that A Ma Maniere A very prominent all over the sneaker. And speaking of that A Ma Maniere A, if you guys take a close look inside of the sock liner on your shoe, you will also notice that the A Ma Maniere A logo is all over the sock liner and the inner lining inside of the shoe as well. So if you didn't get enough A Ma Maniere A logos all over the box, on the paper and on the back of the shoe, you're also going to get it all over the inner sock liner of the shoe as well. They want you to know that this is an A Ma Maniere collaboration. Let's talk a little bit about accessories. So you're gonna get 2 extra sets of laces. You're gonna get 1 black set, and then you're also going to get this stained, weathered, kind of vintage looking set here. It's white, but stained yellow, very similar to the midsole on the shoe as well. However, you're also going to get this charm here, this A Ma Maniere A logo charm here. Now, it looks almost like a keychain. Now, last but certainly not least, you also have this custom insole as well. Now, it's a really nice kind of felt, very nice feeling insole here, very similar to the sock liner of the shoe. Once again, you see the A Ma Maniere A logos all the way up and down the entire insole of this as well. But embroidered on the heel here, you see the Jumpman with the numbers 365. And a lot of people have wondered, what in the world is that 365 for? Let me tell you. As far as I know, the 365 with the Jumpman represents the new relationship or the ongoing relationship that A Ma Maniere and the Whitaker Group has with Jordan Brand. If you guys don't know, we're going to give you a little bit of inside information today. A Ma Maniere and the Whitaker Group has actually formed an exclusive partnership with Nike and Jordan Brand. So that's part of the reason why we've been seeing so many different releases from the brand lately. From Social Status to A Ma Maniere, it's because there's an exclusive agreement now. So we're not going to be seeing really any more collaborations for a long time between A Ma Maniere or Social Status and say Adidas or any other brand out there. We're going to be seeing a lot of Jumpman and Jordan and Nike releases now, be it other Jordan signature models or other models like the Airship. So as a result of that, I think this 365 not only talks about that, but it also coincides with their 365 apparel program that they did as well. It's interesting because they call the apparel the 365 apparel program, and then they also put 365 on the insole of this shoe here. So that tells me that this partnership is a strong one, and we're gonna be seeing a lot more between the two brands in the near future. As a matter of fact, we've already seen leaks of the upcoming Air Jordan 5 collaboration with A Ma Maniere as well. So more to come. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the A Ma Maniere Airship PE collaboration with Jordan Brand and Nike. Now, like I said, it's very interesting how Airships, a sneaker that if you look on any resale marketplace right now is chronically going for way under retail price, sometimes even half price of the retail price. Now all of a sudden they slap a collaboration on a black and white pair, weather the midsoles, and all of a sudden the sneaker's worth $300, $400, $500. It's really kind of crazy how scarcity and exclusivity of a sneaker all of a sudden make people want it at the end of the day. Now, one thing that was kind of infuriating about this release is the lack of bot protection on this release as well. Now, James Whitner famously said on the Complex Sneakers podcast that they spend $500,000 on bot protection for 4 minutes on their Jordan Brand releases. But I don't know who forgot to flip the switch because bot protection was not around anywhere on this drop, and bots ate this drop alive. So if you were able to get your hands on these especially manually, congratulations. Let's talk a little bit about the messaging and the inspiration behind it. A Ma Maniere always kills it when it comes to their collaborations, when it comes to their visuals. The visuals range from mini movies to kind of music videos almost, and this one was interesting. It was totally filmed in black and white. The original soundtrack behind the visuals were from Track Girl. If you're not familiar, look her up. Very, very dope artist. But it's interesting because the lyrics of the song that were sung while people were looking at the visuals of this said, "I'm not scared of nobody," which I think is really dope and kind of sets the tone for today's video, but we'll get to the rest of that in just a minute. But the cool thing about the visuals here was that it depicted a group of black people, a lot of African Americans, kind of dressed militant. They almost looked like the 2023 Black Panthers. Glasses on, leather, bomber jackets, pins all over the jackets. These pins said things like "protect black women" and "Black Lives Matter" and things like that. At the end of the visual, somebody is waving an A Ma Maniere black and white flag, almost like pro-black groups like to do back in the day. So the messaging behind this sneaker, as has been the messaging behind all of A Ma Maniere's collaborations with Jordan Brand, is very direct. This sneaker speaks to the continued journey and experience of black people and black and brown people in this country, and they've been unapologetic in how direct their messaging is. It's just been interesting how many people turn a blind eye or strip away that narrative when it comes to the shoe. And I get it. At the end of the day, a shoe is a shoe. So if you like it, you like it. You don't have to like the story. The story is just marketing at the end of the day. But make no mistake about it, the brand is very intentional with the stories that they're telling. As a matter of fact, this sneaker is called Understand the Why. And at the beginning of the visuals, there are 12 core principles of the Whitaker Group and A Ma Maniere. And the first principle is called Understand the Why. So basically, understanding the why it is that you do whatever it is that you do. And the why behind this sneaker and the ethos of A Ma Maniere has to do with the continued journey that black and brown communities, marginalized communities, underrepresented communities, disenfranchised communities continue to face in difficult socioeconomic times, which has led a lot of people to be disappointed in the gifting or the seeding choices of the brand, because it seemed like a lot of people who have been gifted pairs of these sneakers don't really know much about the why behind this sneaker, don't know much about the messaging, and have never really lived the journey of the people who this sneaker is supposed to highlight. I've been on social media being pretty loud about the fact that I wish that more people who got the shoe actually did a little bit of research or appreciated who the sneaker was intended to represent. Not who the sneaker's for, but who the sneaker was intended to represent. But nevertheless, understand the why is the messaging. Which brings me to my final thoughts of the video that may turn into a mini rant, but I'm gonna try not to let it turn into that. There have been a couple of videos that have been going around lately that have been getting a lot of traction by a YouTuber that goes by the name of Not Trippin'. I guess this is someone, his real name is Quentin, so we're gonna call him Quentin. Quentin had a channel, I believe, that was pushing replica counterfeit sneakers. Apparently that channel got shut down, and apparently this new channel is basically dedicated to trolling and basically talking down on everything from people who talk down about people with replica sneakers to constantly trolling different personalities like Kai Somar, and most recently talking about racism in sneakers and the fact that black people apparently feel like white people cannot buy black people sneakers, which to me is one of the most insane things that a person can ever make a video about, and people agreeing with the video. I don't even have words for that. But unfortunately, this came down to a personal attack or a series of personal attacks on me. There was a live stream that was held after the video was made, the most recent video that talked about how apparently Quentin felt like Sneaker Twitter felt like he was racist for the video that he made. To plead his case that he was not racist and to make the case that I was race baiting, he made a thumbnail that he later changed that was a highly race baiting thumbnail, which didn't make the most sense to me. But when the homie Juan Wilson specifically asked him about why he made the thumbnail, he didn't directly answer the question. However, he did change the thumbnail, so thanks. I won't get into all of the nuance that was a result of his live stream where he called me a lot of crazy names and actually alluded to the fact that I was clout chasing him, and that's the reason why I was upset and said the things that I said, because he has a lot more subscribers on his YouTube channel than I do. Not mentioning the fact that I have almost 40 times the amount of followers on Twitter that he does, but I understand that YouTube is his primary platform, and I get it. So I want to make something extremely clear about the video that was made, about the messaging, and about where we are as a community in sneakers. First things first, you're not gonna find anywhere in my tweets, in any of my videos, where I've ever said that black people's sneakers are for black people only and white people cannot wear sneakers that are made for black people. Now, there may be people like Quentin that try to twist those words around for shock value, clickbait, and to make videos that, let's just call a spade, are his bread and butter. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna find anywhere where I specifically say that sneakers like this, white people can't wear them and aren't allowed to purchase them. That makes no sense at all. I'm a firm believer that sneakers are for everyone, and no matter who you are, no matter what race you are, what color you are, you can purchase a sneaker, rock it, and wear it. Again, the story and the messaging is pretty clear, and I find it really funny how nobody holds the brand accountable for that messaging, but when I reiterate the messaging directly from the brand, all of a sudden I'm things like divisive or race baiting or political, when once again, I'm literally just reiterating what the brand has said. Let's back up a little bit. The Air Jordan 1 A Ma Maniere, which is a shoe that I caught a lot of flack for. If you watch the visuals, which I'm guessing a lot of people didn't, you'll notice that the narrator in the A Ma Maniere Air Jordan 1 visuals specifically said they want our rhythm and not our blues. And it depicts a group of white people actually trying to mimic a TikTok that black people made hot, but they're not really able to get the rhythm down. That's a direct message saying that a lot of white people these days want to have the success, the accolade, the viral moments that have to do with the rhythm that a lot of black people have, but they do not want to share in the pain and in the struggle that comes with the black and marginalized experience in the country. Again, that's coming from the brand, not from Kari. But a lot of people said nothing about it, brushed it off, wore the shoe, and then said that I was race baiting for bringing up the messaging. Then we had shoes like the Air Jordan 12, which the Air Jordan 12 once again featured very powerful visuals and literally said black is the blueprint, and had black women prominently featured because it was a women's release exclusively, even though a lot of men ended up getting the shoe. But the messaging behind that is that black women are the blueprint to things very hot in fashion, streetwear, and culture. People just wanted the shoe, but if you brought that up, even though the brand said it, you were being divisive and race baited. Then we had sneakers like the food stamp Mac Attacks that came out, and in Quentin's video, once again, he mentioned that sneaker particularly and said black people feel like white people can't wear these because black people are on food stamps. That type of language is very, very dangerous, and I need you guys to understand how dangerous language like that is. There's a thing that a lot of people do out here where they will make language seem very extreme for clicks and for your views, even though they know that that's not the message that was being portrayed, especially from the person who these attacks are directed at. I never said that. Now, if there are people on sneaker Twitter that are not me that may have said things like white people gentrified sneakers or the sneaker culture has been gentrified, which it has, let's just call a spade, but I've also been on record by saying that black people can actually be part of gentrification of things as well, so that's out the window. But when it comes to the fact that certain people say things about black and white, once again, Kari doesn't say those things. So I'm not quite sure why Quentin took the opportunity to point the finger at me like I was the one who said that, when you're never gonna find a tweet saying that I ever said white people can't wear any sneaker that they want to wear at all. Now, we agreed on one point in his video, which is I wish that more people would do their research about the messaging behind these sneakers. But once again, that was quickly dismissed with the fact that I seem to be what's wrong with sneaker culture. It's just funny that that's coming from someone whose very existence on YouTube comes from making videos literally bashing anything and anyone having to do with sneaker culture, but I digress. Quentin's video also went on to talk about Sneaker Ella and how people were upset that the main character was black or that makes no sense. Nobody that I know cared about the fact that the main character was black. People didn't like Sneaker Ella because Sneaker Ella just sucked as a movie. I say all this to say this, and let me look directly at you guys and be extremely clear, not just to you all, but if Quentin happens to see this video or any of you show it to him, let me be very clear. I never said that white people can't wear black people's sneakers. I don't even call them black people sneakers because the way that people say that language to me feels kind of weird, but I'm just not even gonna say anything else about that. But what I did say is that the brand is extremely clear and very direct in what these sneakers represent. And there's a difference between representation and intention and requirement and prerequisite. So let me make sure I break that down to be extremely clear. These sneakers are made to represent the struggle and the journey of Black and brown communities. Once again, even with the Mac attacks, A Ma Maniere even tweeted that the sneaker was made to represent Black and brown communities that disproportionately have relied on SNAP, EBT, and food stamps over the years. Now, yes, it is a statistical fact that white people, by and large, use more food stamps than Black people. However, there is a higher percentage, disproportionately, of African Americans and people of color that are on these types of programs. Not only that, but due to new regulations from the SNAP program, it actually removed the ability for a ton of African Americans to be able to use food stamps and SNAP programs as well. So I would encourage everybody to do your Googles before you talk about things that you don't really know anything about. Everybody can wear these sneakers. Everybody can wear any sneaker that they want to wear. No matter what color you are, what creed you are, what nationality you are. I don't care if you're black, white, red, green, or purple. If you like the A Ma Maniere Airship, if you like the food stamp Mac Attack, if you like the Jordan 12s, the Jordan 3s, the Jordan 1s, the Jordan 5s, any sneaker that you like, go buy it, rock it, wear it, enjoy it. If you hate Black people, rock the sneaker if you like the sneaker. If you don't like the story, that's perfectly fine. My point is that the brand, A Ma Maniere, James Whitner, the Whitaker Group, is very direct in who these sneakers are fashioned after and what these sneakers represent. And what these sneakers represent is a journey that people who look like me go through every day, that people who look like Quentin have the privilege of not having to go through, but somehow feel like they're still qualified to comment on. And that is a major part of what's wrong with the sneaker community today. That's all that I gotta say about that. Now it's time for you guys to sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the A Ma Maniere Airship PE in white and black collaboration with Jordan Brand. Are you guys feeling these? Did you guys add these to your collection? Let me know what you guys think about these down in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Of course, while you're down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family, to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the A Ma Maniere and Jordan Brand Airship. Understand the why. And until next time, I'm out.